Hey there, welcome to Kronos Gaming. It's that time of the year again. Another season, another battle pass. I know your struggle. Once again, 100 levels waiting to be grinded in this seasonal battle pass. But we need what's inside it, so we better learn how to do it properly and get the stuff fast. If you're new, then I'll quickly summarize it for you. The battle pass has a activity card system which you fill based on what tasks you have chosen and finished. Completing each task rewards you a stamp, and the more you use those to fill the card, the more season pass experience you get. In a nutshell. Sounds simple. Well, I'm sure there are even some veteran players out there who can find something that they did not know, so stick around. Going over the entire list of battle pass items you can get it would take very long, so I'll just leave the link in the description so you can check yourself or check in game, however you choose. But in general, it gives your character a pretty nice boost and relieves some of the crafting issues, and more broadly enables your gameplay a lot more. So some materials that would otherwise take days to get, you can get from the battle pass within just a day, and many of them, so it's worth it. But enough of that, let's go check out the activity card itself and what we can do on it. So, the activity card. There are 40 different tasks in the pool, and you will get 20 of those at random. Fortunately, there is a way to switch it around with a reroll in case the activities do not suit you or you can't do them. It's not insanely expensive either, at least in the beginning. It just costs some Azoth, which you naturally get throughout the gameplay. And even if you don't have enough Azoth, then you can buy vials of suspended Azoth to replenish it that way. Now, how many times can you reroll and what does it cost? So you can reroll as many times as you want, but the first one of the new card is always free. Then the next roll is 100, next one after that is 200, 300, 400, and 500. And once you reach 500, then it just caps at 500 until you complete the card, and then it resets back to the free reroll. If you're low on cash, then try to refrain from many rerolls because it adds up very quickly. One more thing to keep in mind is to not do rerolls if you have any blue completed activities left that you haven't stamped in, because if you then press reroll, you will erase the progress of what you have previously completed on the activities panel. If you would have anything stamped there, then that would stay, of course, but your unstamped activities would disappear. Now, just to clarify, let's talk about these little images or icons next to the tasks. Those potions, axes, shields, skulls, leaves, and crossed swords you see each represent a category of certain activity. For example, the skull is PvP related, crossed swords is general combat, potions are crafting, music, and salvaging. The shield represents group activities, elite chests, and bosses, and axes are everything gathering and town board missions. So once you complete an activity, it will light up in your left panel and also in your activity card, showing you the possible places it goes to. I will bring you another example. Sometimes you find that you have completed more activities on a certain category than there are on the activity card. If possible, then try to keep that in mind to not waste your time on those, because the excess completed activities are void and will not give you anything. There are no potions on the activity card, so there is nothing to stamp. One small helpful tip is to actually pin the activities of your choosing if your memory does not serve you that well. I find it quite useful. Going for some activities in specific areas may give you 2 or 3 different category activities completed in one go, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Now let's take a deeper look at the activity card, where we stamp or glue our completed activities, which would contribute towards finishing the card and grant you season experience. You'll see the amount of experience you get on the right hand side looking at these numbers. Imagine now finishing a card with 4, 5 or 6 stamps spread randomly on the card. You could get so much more and progress at lightning speed if you would do the entire card. So each and any stamp gives experience, filling a line gives increased experience, but we are after finishing the card fully because that gives a lot more. Now let's talk about the boosters for a second. If you happen to have some season XP boosters left over from some previous battle passes, then of course use them, but they only give you experience boost to other various activities like completing an outpost rush, etc., but it doesn't apply to completing cards. The same thing from my experience goes to the trophies that you're able to get from the seasonal journey task traditionally, and those give an additional 5%. So definitely worth getting, but the XP booster definitely not worth buying, so don't put your money to that, I would say. Now let's talk about the wild stamps. Those are there to help us fill the activity card. Let's call it the bonus bag. Our bonus bag contains these wild stamps. These wild stamps are so-called joker cards of card games. These can be applied to any stamp position and they have a special purpose. These are used for completing difficult activities and also through that complete the lines. The wild stamps part is confusing for a lot of people, so I'll try to explain it, where they come from and how they should be used. When you start your season pass, you will get 3 wild stamps to begin with, and our duty now is to manage them well, so we'll breeze through the season pass. You can get wild stamps when you finish horizontal, diagonal or vertical lines, and also you can get 1 wild stamp a day for your first reroll. So whenever you plan to reroll, check how many wild stamps you have, because your wild stamp limit is set to 3. So if you would reroll on 3 wild stamps, then you would just waste 1 into the void. Instead, what you can do is use one of your wild stamps before your rerolling. If you are at 3, that will temporarily bring your wild stamp count back to 2, and after you reroll, you are back to 3 stamps. If you use your wild stamp to complete a line, meaning that it is the last stamp that would complete the line, you would break even if it was just 1 line, because you will get back the stamp that you put in because you used it to complete the line. Sometimes you find yourself in situations where you're able to use 1 wild stamp to complete 2 lines at the same time, or even 3, that's also possible. So if we do some quick mathematics, then if we put 1 stamp in and we solve 2 lines, then we get 2 stamps back, meaning we get +1. And same thing goes if we solve 3 lines at once, then we get extra 2 stamps out of it. So if you find yourself completing multiple lines at once, then of course take a look at your bonus bag, see how many wild stamps you have to not overflow it, because as I said, the limit for these stamps is 3 and everything over that will go to void. So if you recognize yourself in some position like that, then just use 1 or more of your wild stamps depending on how much you get back, so it wouldn't go to waste. Now, I remember many seasons ago looking at the activity card and thinking to myself, man, this is complex, like what's the catch? How does this work? How many activity stamps do I need and where do I put them? Well, there are like 3 ways to do it fast, and the classic way is to complete 6 of the easiest activities, use those stamps, and then use your 3 wild stamps to finish the lines. With the completed activity stamps, it doesn't matter too much where you put them. You should be able to finish all the possible lines. If you find yourself having less wild stamps than 3, then you might need to get 7 or 8 activities completed. And of course, if you remember, we had the daily reroll that we can also use. That in itself gives a possibility for 5 activities plus 3 wild stamps plus the daily reroll to complete all of the lines on the card. But you would need a good roll for that, and honestly, I would just save it for, whatever emergency might come that you mess up somehow. So whenever you complete the card, the wild stamps that you had at the moment of completing it will carry over to your new activity card. Okay, and I'll quickly finish the activities fast tier list from S to D tier. These are my personal preferences. There are other things you can do or you like, but these work for me. So firstly, as you saw, I like easy, gypsum refining. Of course, the tier list is in the video description, by the way, if you're interested. Salvaging tier 5 gear, very easy. You can buy tier 5 gear pieces from the market, a couple gold each. And then you can play songs. You can play any song, faster the better. The funny thing is, you don't have to hit a single note and it will count. So go annoy people with your atrocious musician skills. Then we have tier 5 consumables, which I use hearty meal for. Very cheap ingredients, and you only need to make 2 because it makes 5 by default. And there you have it. That's 10 tier 5 consumables, very cheap. Then next we have tier 5 resource nodes. I collect those at Elysian Wilds. These young mycosites are tier 5 resources. Super convenient, very close to the shrine. And I actually use those for cooking, so. Then we have skin tier 5 animals. I do it here at the Shrine of Pillar. My targets here are the lizards and coyotes. If I remember correctly, then the monsters have to be level 63 for you to kill them. Yeah, there's a bunch of elite chests in Brimstone. I think I'll put a map with some more common ones around the Aeternum, so it's easier for lower levels too to find some ancient chests. Then we have the vial of Azoth salt, super easy to get from PvP track. I had a lot of them, but I've had to use them, so I'm kind of running out now. So better to get more of them. Then you can also, of course, queue for Arena. Now about the weapon combos, where you have to kill 10 enemies with this or that weapon. Then let's say you have a bow equipped and you're killing with that, and you also have a spear mission at the same time, then you're completing both of them at the same time, even when you're just killing with your bow. So that's super convenient. And then same thing goes for monster types. If you have Angry Earth and Beast, then there are Angry Earth Wolves, who are 2 types at the same time. So you can hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Also, there is 2 named mobs here. Named elites, nice. And there's also Lost and Corrupted at this place together at the Wolf's Egg Shrine in Brightwood. Also very easy to get to, very easy to complete. And that's all the tips from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And I'll see you in the next one.